I'll be reading from A Victim of Life. I was. Although this notebook is written backwards, I wrote it from the back front and called it time travel, so just bear with me. Time travel. I'm going to do life different. Switch it up, as it were. Do time backwards, or learn my words. Write my soul in a different manner. Embrace life's clutch in the sun's rays, inevitable nights and days, or days of night. Or days of souls ablaze, and nights no longer lost to fright. Awaken wanderlust, asleep to fear, until it's only the lulls of living that I give ear. Ever so enlivened by mortality's whisper that we so softly hear. I see the light better in pure darkness, perfect darkness. That darkness which the devil himself lie consumed in, though I somehow failed to see the light and the devil himself. And a victim of life we all remained. It's now Friday, June 17th, 1:03 a.m., 2016, and today I am destined for home. The only feeling of home I have ever known. Honed in fake skies of blue, untrue to hues I thought to be true. The only home I've ever known. Introducing life. Through life. To live life required living. Required living required life. What's the in-between? Maybe requiring being alive through soulful living. So full of living. Maybe living instead of just being alive. Introducing life through words. Days on a page. August 20th, little 16. And the time traveling continued, writing backwards. Calculated risk always made for great stories. The feeling of being young turned out to be more than I thought, more than I could bear. June 17th at Hartsfield Jackson Airport, just before I had an encounter with a cop, officer, cool, as it were. Yeah, I didn't like him. June 18th, 11:37 a.m. I was uninspired by weird looks. I have always been sensitive to strangers' emotions. Maybe they will never know how far up I wear my heart on my sleeve. Though if I roll up my sleeves, I may not feel comfortable clothed in my words, draped in garments I no longer afford. June 18th, 4:57 p.m. Start. Time travel continued. Home didn't seem real. Home didn't. This place had changed. Either that or I had. But between me and I, the latter seemed impossible. Possible only if I allowed my soul to die, to fry in the fantasy of what I thought home had been. It's 5:14 now. 20th it came. It was time to leave home, to go back home. I couldn't understand it. The concept tangled my understanding and boggled my emotions. To leave the place I grew up, to fly back to the place I reside. To leave the place I was born, to go back to the place I lay my head. Paradoxes. Yellow-faced French toast. And feelings of ambiguity, birthed feelings of emptiness, followed by wonder. Nothing felt the same. It was hard for me to soak in the sun's rays when I myself was drenched in darkness. And now, June 26, 6 a.m., all of time's wonders had me wondering in this moment. Was it the air of things lost, or the constant reminder of who I was trying to be? Was it the people in my life? Or the people not in my life that I wished were here? Was it my insides giving way to my outsides, or my outsides conforming to everything I was within? I had no clue, yet I kept dreaming. I kept dreaming false dreams and transparent lullabies. It was a sickness. It was a disease. It was an infection by which I was seized. 6:10 a.m. now. The thoughts rolled on, cold streets in my head I couldn't pronounce, cul-de-sacs of my heart. 6:15. Time travel continued. Now it's the 27th of June. This was when my lungs stood still as I tried to breathe anything. And then my pen died as I tried to write. So I gathered another one. And as I write, I begged and pleaded for my lungs to work. They ignored me, respectfully, of course. So I thought the air would eventually find pity in me, but the air couldn't stand the winds of my words or the breath of my saying. My life seemed meaningless. My soul hung in the balance by a thread of emotion sewn together by feelings. Feelings soon cut by life's scissors as my feelings and emotions drifted aimlessly through time. This wasn't a wound life could fix with time, so time forced me to clothe my own emotions, to cloak my feelings in cold wear that I wear to refrain from becoming cold. Yet I was already shivering. I was heartless. I guess I'd been out here to brave the weather of life for far too long. Human ambition was a beautiful thing, and watching someone live it out was something out of this world. Though this isn't the quartets, I felt it all too necessary to write a fret of my current feelings. This is at the waterfall, at the windmill, Freeman Mills Park, Atlanta, Georgia. I wanted to a seamstress, but life goes on. Just me and my vile thoughts. June 30th, 4:14 a.m. I had to be greater than my desires. I had to not be like them. I became uninspired by their actions, even more by their words. Saturday, July 2nd, I was inspired in so many ways. I wanted to go out, but my better judgment showed me a better way. July 6, 10:02, I bought Women by Charles Bukowski earlier. Barnes & Noble, leaving Planet Payment at work. I like the feeling of walking into bookstores, maybe because I looked like I didn't belong there, so it drew attention my way. And as I drew attention my way towards the words within pages, pages within words, within paper, and the picture, that was a bigger picture. And it was all painted on shells. Shells I myself drew on with my attention as these words I wrote. Time kept traveling. July 6th says 10:19 p.m. 2016's. Interested in Pinterest? Poniewski. The moon crept from behind the clouds as if it wanted to tell me something. Time travel. Time travels. July 21st, 2016, 7:50 p.m. About to stick legs out the window. Okay, now come thought. I sat thinking, pondering, brainstorming about where I am headed in this life we watch with our own two eyes. Through love and lies, it was through my eyes. I am cast as a star of this movie, my movie, Life, the Unhappy Wife, with the script written through strife. If I'm lost, then how can I find myself? I sat pondering and thinking as to where my head is, calling my heart, and I don't even recognize caller ID. Now, it really is hard to remember you. No longer was my heart pressed upon disdain hills for you. The mountaintops are barren, and they'd long ago been turned in two. Much left to do, much set awry. Just two persons down Rue Market is true. Her hair changed with personality. Less is not always more or less. July 28th, 5:34 a.m. So good morning to the drunks, to the insomniacs, to the nocturnal and the morning people. Curse your souls, morning people. Good morning to the suicidal and those who talk them down off the ledge. To the students, to the writers, life's fighters, and the homeless. Good morning to the speechless, and good night to the teachless. Good morning to myself and the ones finding oneself. 5:46 now. Time travel, August 10th, Panama City, Florida, 4:15 a.m. There was sin everywhere, but nowhere to alleviate it. Good can be done in an instant, instantaneously. Yet, we look for it in stints of only how it helps us. While knowing this, a victim of life, I remained. It's 4:20 a.m. now. I'm drunk. I'm drunk right now as my friend Brandon snores himself to sleep on a pull-out bed. I was excited for my first night down here, as exciting first nights go. Life isn't about waiting for the storm to pass. It's about learning. Learning to dance heavily in the rain. I wrote that at Richard's condo. Thank you, Richard's wife, for letting us stay back in 2016. Time travel continues, riding backwards. I haven't grown much over the last few months. August 1st, I honestly don't know what date it is. It's midway in August, staring at this rainy day with brown eyes, see overcast skies, and grass getting wetter. So honestly, as my foot leans softly on this wicker wood made dresser, my mind weaves as if this is real, as if this is for real, as if this is for real. Or if the leaves were in my mind, that would surely make me leave. But Speck's house was picturesque. Speck's house was beautiful. It wasn't about, I can't remember, Grey Wolf. I am him, are you? Anarchy is chaos. Beauty on the countryside. I should have died in Puerto Rico that one time. Poland Diaries. March 1st, 2017. I had it figured out. The parliament was closed, yet I had the slightest instinct to go there. The people in Poland looked at me as if I'm some alien, some out-of-space entity never to have settled here. But guess what? I'm here, motherfuckers. I love the Polish people. She was a rose surrounded by weeds, the reason for my prose and all my basic needs. She planted seeds, now sprouting from my very soul. And her growth, her blossoming, I'll admit it, it's taken its toll. For these florals in me were deemed weeds. But I stood proud, for I was the weed amongst the roses. And guess which one does the choking? August 5th, 2016, Friday, 9:14 p.m. Felt like nothing short of a win. They all maybe loved me, but I felt they hated me, or at least that's the way I told myself to feel. My boss seemed interested in my decision. I told him his character, I really looked up to. I said, it's truly something you have. All this other stuff going on, yet you keep a sane level composure. The same sane level composure I found to be scarce in this world. Keep it up, boss. I am a victim of life, and I'm damn proud of it. I quickly found out that as a writer, one of the worst things one could do was send someone their words. Too many obstacles were in place, too many emotions and feelings in which flirted with the idea of me not getting my words back. Words I had felt, words only the pages were worthy of. And though I generally talk about nothing but becoming a writer, generally I am constantly always thinking of writing. In the middle, I guess life was all too repetitive, too echoey. The logistics of life and feelings just weren't moving fast enough. For on this day of August 5th at 10:35 p.m., I had quit my job. I now joined the ranks of many jobless Americans. However, this was by choice. I alone chose to live by experience instead of by rules. To live by the words of my soul instead of in the rat race of society. To live for myself instead of for them. To be alive instead of just living. To be me instead of the norm. It's 10:47 now. If I took her home, it must have been a house to me. If I took her to the house, she was never her, she was she. But in the end, she was as unnameable as her. LAX to Hartsfield to O'Hare to Fort Lauderdale to LaGuardia to SJX to the world. Not to be a but do you want this? Because does want you, and I don't want to be. And I don't want to be a because you want the but just stop being a and take the. I told myself to forget you, and that I did. It's August 6th at 1 a.m. You no longer exist in my mind. She owns two hearts, hers and mine. November 13th, 42% batteries, troubles plagued me at Chris's house. And then my phone died. Everything has changed. Back on schedule, August 5th, 2016, 12 something. If you thought of me as much as I thought of you, if on you I could be, if on me you could see a future and the possibilities, oh, if only. Time keeps on traveling. I told myself to forget about, but I just forgot to forget. I know I said I did, but I forgot. For she was often the pool in which remained nested, and I was the shore in which the waves often crashed, and might crash. considering the depths of the sea, seemed rash. And the irrational led me to you. The irrationality of it all was you. It was all you. And I loved you. And that was that. The story is making itself into itself. The story was making itself into itself. It was making itself into everything it needed to be. I needed everything you pretended to be, in silk sheets and satin throws. Throws of shows and what I could be. The option to fail showed failure as an option when I never wanted it to be. But that's learning. Remembering time spent with Derek, driving from Phipps Tower in my truck, which I now sold. It was reminiscent to remember moments because I personally wanted to change the writer's world for everything it wasn't. It wasn't unbecoming, and it was far from unpredictable. It wasn't clear, and the world wasn't very giving. Something had to give. Something had to be undone in its doneness. I will remember these times staying up late. I'll remember though, these nights, they just keep on going. These nights picking the brain in order to brainstorm these milestones, which don't mean because it's now 2:10 a.m. on a Saturday, 6th of August. I don't have a job, and the feeling is glorious. I am and was bigger than any and everything set before me. I felt you in the raindrops, drop by drop, splash by splash. It was you that always hit me. And like dodging raindrops, I couldn't dodge you. In a relationship, Richard said it must be 100 and 100. Give 100, you get 100. If the relationship will last, there is no such thing as 50-50. It's Panama City Beach. So that means I had things to work on if I was to at least get into the relationship. At least I was conscious of the whole thing. I mean, not saying she was. Not saying it was just me in this relationship. Not denying any of my ways nor covering over any of my stray feelings. Just, I'm alone, I feel. August 16th, I had the world to say, but I just couldn't get it out. In one setting, diving from heights I would have died from, just to feel what I would have felt like if I did. 5:30 p.m., a world of writing. You get a man at the best version of himself when he's got something to lose. I spun a story the best way a story could be spun, churned. And these are notes by the window. Time travel continues. I remember how she should have received a hamburger sticky notepad, but the rich Target and Buckhead had just gypped me. Either that or they forgot. I always tried to give people the benefit of the doubt. Though it's not the same expressiveness we feel with nature, it's probably the same we feel looking at a book. August 17th, 2:30. Yeah, we even sent a girl to come get you. You and your drunken stupor. Wait, what was my point? I don't remember, but these window notes saw everything clearer than I did. August 18th, Atlanta, Georgia, 8 a.m. I'll be honest, I woke up this morning and quickly thought about getting back in bed. My writing style was becoming complete. My personal life was falling to pieces. For old Johnny Law wanted me. I have warrants for my arrest, and it only made the thrill of being alive that much more for me. I sit at this window surrounded by life in my underwear. I was a vulnerable one, and if you read my earlier writings, you would see a pattern come to fruition. I sit at this window drinking, twisting my hair. I hear the crickets cricket and fear this brick house I'm forced to stare at, to become one with. I don't know why, but this brick house said something. It stood for everything it meant to be here and gone. And to literally grow and bloom where you're planted. Speck is here no longer. That was his house. And my speech is really vulgar. But as I sit here at this window, I hear a telephone ring, and it could be anyone. Rest assured it's someone we know, provided they dialed us, with the odds of them dialing us. Anyways, I shied away from them, as I always do. The music poured from the next room that was my brother's. And I stood still, standing still, standing still, waiting for the past to know my skin, in as much as I know its very bones. Another day, another hour, 2 checks, and I lay sour. Do you believe these words to be golden? Do you believe these steps to be purposeful? Friday, August 19, 2016, 12:59 p.m., little 16s. Forgetting was her best key. August 20 now, 10:32 a.m. I woke at sunrise and was dead set against getting up. In the end, it'll just be little old me sitting here waiting. I could sit here for hours. August 21st, 2016. Don't stare at me with those unseeing eyes. In the way of living, in the way of living. A lot lied in the way of living. The way of living lied a lot in the way of dying. But therein lied relief. Therein lied hope. But there lied grief. There lies grief. In a way I couldn't grope. For to grope would mean to grope nothing else ever again. Too much groping in life. Not enough coping. We lie. It's August. August 23rd, 4:50 p.m. And at this window I sit looking out where there should be 7 billion other people, yet they all look the same. I had thoughts, but they disappeared. August 24th, this is where it all made sense. I thought they wanted to hear or read all of my words because I thought they were so great. I was wrong. I'm sitting at this window, and all I see is one thing. The one thing they only want to hear is good words, no matter where it's from. How afraid are you to finish this backwards book? Words from the crannies and the nook of your soul. You can write the world in your hand, but why would you be so bold? It's blank space, August 28th, 1:49 p.m. And now it's August 30th, 8 a.m. And if these thoughts from a window were to cease, then I would be fine with the art, the words left on paper. As long as it's art, everything else is just trying to be art. 8:05 a.m., August 31st, 2016, 9:30 a.m. to September 2nd, 2016, 2:08 a.m. And for some reason, it struck me as critical that my laptop's battery had fallen to 74% because it recognized shortly before that moment showed me that I had to get the printing press going for my book. June 16th, 2016 now, time travel was possible. Because all in all, I've learned that feelings come and go. However, time harbors feelings, and time in and of itself is infinite. So in order to benefit from feelings and all their finite wonder, I had to attach feelings with time. And today is September 2nd, 2016. I was never really sure if any of this would work. All in all, unbeknownst to me, I listened to my own advice of time and feelings. My feelings about this whole thing never changed. I was always certain of my words, but given time, life showed me all that was relevant. Relevant to me, at least. I saw Who Was Paradise as a pseudonym. I wondered who Paradise was, but was sure people would rather know who the world is instead. Yeah, one doesn't just get this way. It's just sort of becomes you after a while. Victim of life, I was.